Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today, it's finally happened. The news we have been waiting for oh so long at this point has finally come. For 2022, Valtteri Bottas, current teammate to Sir Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, will be leaving the team for Alfa Romeo Sauber. To no one's surprise at all. Like, everyone saw this coming. Because I think it was about a month ago now, Valtteri's personal manager was seen speaking to Frederic Vasseur personally, which tells me, something was happening. And of course, with the legendary Kimi Räikkönen announcing his departure from Formula 1 entirely last week, this announcement of Valtteri Bottas moving to Alfa Romeo this week was more or less inevitable. And yes, I know this video's a little late. Whoops. Better late than never though, eh? So, yeah, Valtteri Bottas is finally moving from Mercedes to Alfa Romeo, which we've all expected for quite a while. And I have to say, as much as I've been down on Valtteri in the past, I haven't considered him a brilliant driver, he is a really good one. I don't know if he was Mercedes material. He's a good driver, he's just never been able to push to the very top. He's got wins, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's ever been able to properly fight for the championship. But he is a damn good driver, and I think, and as many other people do on the internet, this signing of Valtteri Bottas to Alfa Romeo is a pure statement of intent from Alfa Romeo and Frederic Vasseur himself. They want to move up the grid, and if I'm honest, they've chosen a really good driver to help them do that because, well, that man's been in a championship-winning car for the last 5 seasons. He knows how to drive a car, and yeah, they've picked a really good driver to take over Kimi Räikkönen because, genuinely, I couldn't have picked a better choice, swapping out one fin for another. It's worked pretty well for him in the past, but yeah, I think this whole signing of Valtteri Bottas is a pure statement of intent that they want to move up the grid towards Aston Martin, Alpine, maybe even Ferrari, who knows, because I don't think they're content sticking around with the guys like Williams and Haas anymore. They want to move up, which is more than understandable. Speaking of Williams, we can now only assume that it's finally happened. We can probably now very solidly guess that George Russell has finally done what we've all wanted. Signed for Mercedes. Because with Valtteri Bottas departing from Mercedes, there is now a vacant seat. And on the weekend, which I forgot to mention in my stream, Toto Wolff did say that there is a spare seat at Williams. So, welcome back, George. It's good to see you in a Mercedes again, because as we all know, last winter in the final race of the season, Lewis Hamilton contracted COVID, which meant, oh no, George Russell had to step into the Mercedes for the race and take over his seat. And, well, we know how well he did. He dominated the first 40 laps in P1, which is incredible. And if it wasn't for that Mercedes screw-up on the pit stops, I would have seen a George Russell Valtteri Bottas 1-2. Easy. But unfortunately, it played out as it did. Valtteri and George both dropped down the order massively, and yeah, that race was not a win. But I think now, if George Russell signs for Mercedes in 2022, things will go a lot differently because, well, he's got Lewis Hamilton as a teammate. He's got the perfect person to push him to be his best. Because, well, he's a damn good driver, George Russell. Let's face it, he is an amazing kid. Brilliant driver. And all the other teams on the grid have a really young driver who can push them into the future. For example, McLaren has Lando Norris, Aston Martin has Lance Stroll, who is a good driver, believe it or not. Ferrari has Charles Leclerc, who we know is amazing. Red Bull has Verstappen. And yeah, all these teams have so many young drivers, but the only one that doesn't really have a young driver is Mercedes. Because Valtteri's been in Formula One for about 8 years now, and Lewis has been on the track for 14, so they don't really have anyone to push them into the future. And I think that's why they're going to sign George Russell, because he's still pretty new. Right now, he's only doing his 3rd season in F1, so, he's definitely built up a lot of skill in Williams now. But speaking of Williams, as I said before, we now have a vacant seat there. And there is a very hot rumour as to who's going to be taking that seat. Alex Albon. Yep, former Red Bull driver from last year is heavily rumoured to be taking George Russell's place in Williams, which is a really interesting move, considering that, well, Nicholas Latifi by this time will be on his 3rd season of F1, and Alex Albon will be on his technical 2nd, but he's obviously had this year out, racing in DTM for AlphaTauri, who has done really well for him. In fact, he's even gotten his 1st win. Congrats to you, by the way, Alex. Yeah, I keep trying to say George. We're not talking about George anymore, Cameron. But yeah, I'm going to say that now we know Valtteri Bottas is going to be in Alfa Romeo. It's going to be George Russell to Mercedes and Alex Albon to Williams and back in F1. And I did notice something here. Last year, every team but Mercedes, Alfa Romeo and Williams swapped drivers. And this year, the only teams that have swapped drivers are Williams, Alfa Romeo and Mercedes. So I thought that was a nice little... it seems like a part 2 to last year's transfer window. I just noticed that. I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't even notice that till, this morning. I thought, hold on. Could we just be seeing a part 2 to last year's driver transfers? And it could very well be, because there is also rumours that Antonio Giovinazzi might be departing from Alfa Romeo. And, of course, that leaves the window open for Nick de Vries, who is heavily rumoured to replace him, to hop in. Which means 2 ex-Mercedes drivers are going to be in Alfa Romeo. One in Formula 1 and one in Formula E, who is currently the Formula E World Championship winner. So, good work to you, Nick. But yeah, that's it for this video, provided there isn't any announcements between now and the video coming out. If not, you'll see me in a second. If not, that's going to do it for this video, guys. So as always, people, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to mine and Roxanne's and Frost's YouTube channels. Their links are in the description. My sub button is down there. Yep, that big red one, unless you've already subbed, then it's grey. Thanks for that, by the way. And once you've done that, don't forget to click all 3 of our bell icons to get all 3 sets of our notifications. Comment as well, because why not? And let me know what you think of this driver transfer and if you were at all expecting it. Once you've done that too, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stereo and TikTok, which will be in the link tree in the description. Once you've done that too, don't forget to follow Roxanne on her blog and Frost on his Instagram. Their links are also going to be in the description below the link tree. And lastly, of course, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Goodbye!